Always the most stressful part of the meeting is how to do the bell correctly. Good afternoon. Welcome to Muskegon Rotary Club this fine snowy Thursday. I am Lisa Tyler. I'm honored and pleased to be your president nominee. Our president and our president-elect are cavorting in warmer, but not super warm Florida right now. And here I am. So, I know Dave would ask who that was in music, and I don't know the answer. So does anybody know who that was?
Production music.
It's production music. Okay, it wasn't Dave's thing. I'm not doing all Dave's stuff. You get my thing in a year. So our program today will be Access Health and talking about community collaboration. We will begin with a Pledge of Allegiance, and then Kathy Moore will provide our reflection. We'll recite the four-way test at the end of the meeting. We'll start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And please remain standing for the reflection from Kathy Moore.
Okay, sometimes slow and steady wins the race. Not rushing out to buy or try the newest thing or quick fix. An apple a day keeps the doctor away is a 19th century proverb meaning that eating nutritious food, specifically apples, promotes good health, helping to prevent illness and reducing the need for medical visits. Another old proverb from 1885 is give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime, which means teaching someone a skill that ensures long-term independence and self-sufficiency is much more effective than a temporary handout. It's okay to do something old that works. A small change applied consistently over time could yield the greatest results.
All right, please take your seats, finish with your lunch, and network and mingle and all the good stuff. We'll be back shortly. Thank you. Please, can we have our visiting Rotarians and guests come up to my right to be introduced? We have a fair number of people we are welcoming.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Loxter, and pleased to reintroduce a former member to the Rotary, Brad Demersion. You recognize that last name? This is Doc's son. Is relocated back to the greater Muskegon area. He works for a company called FM Global, which I understand is a giant insurance company. I've asked him what he does about 6 or 8 times. I'm still not real sure. He says he fixes stuff, and he's in management. And I'll tell you about his computer setup when he rejoins. But Brad Demersion.
I know, come on. You've been on the other side then. Hello again, Kathy Moore from Public Health, and I have members of the Public Health crew here to hear and support Access Health's program today. I have Robert Neer. He is our newest public health epidemiologist, and you may be familiar with him too because he was pretty active in the community. And you may also already know Lionel Alexander, who is our process manager.
Hi there, Tiffany DuPont Novak. I have Jory Smith with me. I was going to say that we've known each other since elementary school, but we actually discovered today that we've known each other since preschool, which is pretty incredible. She graduated from GVSU, go Lakers, and got her master's from Central Michigan University. And she is the Director of Provider Communication and Experience with Priority Health. She and her husband, Gary, live in Spring Lake and own a multi-family residential building in Fruitport. They're building another in Norton Shores. And in her free time, she likes to hike and read. Is that everything? Yes. Welcome, Jory.
Hello, everybody. Courtney Lohman with Community Choice Credit Union. I have Rhonda Wilkerson with me today. She is my personal advisor team lead, and normally she holds things down while I'm here on Thursdays, so now she's figuring out what it is she's holding down for. So.
Hello, everyone. Emma Peterson with Trinity Health Muskegon, and I have Allison Dial here with me. She works together. We work together in the Office of Philanthropy, and she's been here a time or two, but happy to join us again today. Thanks.
You ready for the lunch, please?
Hey everybody, Sarah Rince-Mistibinga with Muskegon Area District Library, and I have with me Lachey Simmons today. She is our library outreach manager at Muskegon Heights and has literally transformed that tiny little branch and all of its outreach. Give her a hand. Some of you may also know her as a council person. She sits on Muskegon Heights Council as well. Some of you may know her as Mama Shay. There's many, many titles she goes by.
Good afternoon. I have today, Amy Deming from Brickley DeLong. I have today with me Jenny Wheeler from Brickley DeLong. She is one of our managers who specializes in audit and individual income tax. Jenny is a Muskegon native, a graduate of West Michigan Christian, Muskegon Community College, and Grand Valley State University. She lives in Norton Shores with her husband Bill and their 2 daughters. Welcome, Jenny.
All right. Hello, Rotarians. Kat Hyder here. Whoop, whoop. All right. Kat Hyder here, the chair of Snowfest coming up February 21st. Just gonna sneak that in. And I have my guest, Bob, here. Bob is from Hope Network. If you don't know about Hope Network, it is the #1 largest nonprofit in West Michigan and #3 largest in the entire state. So now, one thing about Hope Network I did want to give out is that they help with mental health, life services, health care. So please welcome Bob to Rotary.
Hi, Jeff Wartenbacher from Access Health, and I have with me today is Sam Cornell. Sam has been with Access Health about 12 years. She serves in the role of COO. And again, she was one person that kind of checked in for Access Health, and she's never been able to check back out. So.
Hello, Kathy Brubaker Clark. My guest is Alec Hecht. And Adam, walked into our office one day and wanted to learn more about Muskegon. He's a newer resident here, and I said, well, come to Rotary. That's the best way to find out. He is with Landmark Construction. 2026 marks 30 years as a licensed contractor. He's also in real estate, has a real estate license, moved here from Ottawa County, and he's interested in joining Rotary. So welcome, Adam.
Hello, this is my son, Matthew Morotz. He's a supervisor at Plant 5, Howmet. His oldest son is second year at Michigan Tech when they're having Winterfest right now. And they created a display of Hoth from Star Wars. Appropriate for up there. And his other son, his quartet won #1 at the Frauenthal, whatever it's called. Showcase, yeah. Which is pretty cool. And then his wife is a para-pro at Reese Puffer.
You know, that could be a really good transition, but I'd ruin the surprise. So forget all that. All right, Marty Seitzman here with our student guests from Reese Puffer. To introduce two of the seniors is Christia Whitaker. She is assistant principal at the high school.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for welcoming us in. This is always a nice event that we get to come to a couple of times a year. I'm here with a couple of our best graduating seniors this year. We don't have a whole lot going on. I mean, there's always a lot going on in schools, but we're at a little bit of a lull right now. But I will share, I'm super proud of our Rotary group at the high school. It's really grown, and they've done some great service things around our community this year so far. So I would like to introduce to you Caden and Molly.
I'm Caden Vanderlaan. I took 11 AP courses and 4 dual enrollment courses. I also participated in soccer as a team captain where we broke the school shutout record this season. I also foster cats and dogs, most primarily through Heaven Can Wait, as well as hosting exchange students the last 3 years. After high school, I'm hoping to get into Ross School of Business at University of Michigan to study, major in accounting. If not, I'll probably attend Michigan State.
Hi, I'm Molly Matz. I've been a part of NHS. I'm a secretary, so just a lot of tutoring and things like that around the community. I'm also on the varsity tennis team. This is going to be my 4th year, so that's really exciting. Outside of school, I participate in a program called the Penguin Project, and for college, I'm looking at going to the University of Michigan. I got into their engineering department, so yep. So I'm going into hoping to go into engineering there, or Michigan Tech is a big option. But yeah.
I'm just going to add. It's not a secondary choice to go to that fine university in East Lansing. Go green. And on that note, I am not doing a Muskegon Minute because that's Dave's thing. But I want to do 2 shout-outs. Congratulations to the Wolverines for a good win over my team. It was miserable that night for some of us, but it was a great contest. And so I do, Don Bunker, am able to give shout-outs to a really fine school. Not a secondary one for ours. But so that's one thing. And also, this is also appropriate. So my close thing to a Muskegon Minute is shout out to our presenters today, Access Health, for a wonderful livability lab on Tuesday. I don't know how many people in this room were there, but I was, and Dom, and a few other people. But it's always with Livability Lab 6.0, and Access Health took this over a few years ago, and I'm sure we'll probably hear about it in a minute. But it was a wonderful event, and for me, from my perspective at United Way, I go to a lot of meetings, as Christine can attest, but I see a lot of different people at the Livability Lab than I do in the other rooms I'm in, and so that was a really exciting place to be. So kudos to them. And so now, lucky you get to hear me also introduce the program today. I promise I won't be speaking for a couple of weeks. So today's program is Access Health, and so for 26 years, Jeff Fortenbacher has been passionate, determined, and committed to making Muskegon a healthier place to live and support individuals living as healthy as possible. He has been the only executive director for Access Health's entire 26 years now this year. He was part of the community planning process in 1996 that created Access Health and was then hired to lead the organization that was built by the community. Prior to coming to Access Health, Jeff was a psychological counselor who believes that behavioral changes are the key to improving health. Access Health has been nationally recognized for its innovative health coverage model, providing affordable, comprehensive coverage to small businesses and their low-income working uninsured employees. The organization has also established itself as a strong community partner committed to supporting Muskegon in building a culture of health. Today's presentation will provide an overview of the origins of the Access Health Community Coverage Program and highlight how the program has evolved since its inception. Welcome, Jeff.
Okay, thank you for allowing me to present today. Quick shout out to Don Kalis. Don was actually helpful and very in putting the slides together here and helping me try to organize my thoughts so that it actually comes across to somewhat understandable. Second is I have 3 board members here. A couple of them have been indentured for years, in a sense, to the Access Health program. Dr. Remington Sprague and then Kathy Moore. And then Parker doesn't know this yet, but there's, like I said, it's Hotel California. You can check in, but you can't check out. So appreciate them because, again, as I talk about today, is at the core of this, it's community. And Lisa talked a little bit about where kind of the origins of Access Health, and at the origins of it, it really was community coming together. They identified a need that that there was a segment of our population that were doing kind of what they're supposed to do. They're going to work, but because of where they worked in the different organizations, employers, they never were afforded health care coverage. And so our community met for several months and really kind of started to put that together, and they came up with the concept of wanting to offer a full coverage program for the lower income working uninsured. And so when they put that concept together, the group at that time went and approached several, or at least the operating HMOs, MCOs that were in our area here, and said, hey, we want you to help us administer this. And basically not one of them would touch it, and that they did not want to take on the risk to be able to do that. So to our communities, acknowledgement, I said on that, is that they did something audacious, and they basically said, let's move forward, and we'll do this as a self-administered, self-directed plan, with and established a board that was with representative kind of community oversight on that. And that was a big thing at that time to do that because, again, the word on the street was that, yes, we're doing this. A lot of the professionals that work in the healthcare area said that it might make it like a year. And so with that, where we're at, there we go. We've been here 26 years, which is quite amazing. And again, at the core of our program is really the health coverage, as Lisa talked about. We've expanded, and I'm going to say in other areas, stayed focused to our mission, which is how do we improve the health of our community, but really looked at how we can broaden our partnerships. Secondly, the program, it's nationally recognized. It had been replicated in 5 other states. Those other 5 other states needed to actually pass legislation through their state governments to be able to do a program like this. And then we stayed true to our mission. To me, this is pretty significant because we wanted to make sure that it was affordability that we had and comprehensive coverage, so that it wasn't secondary coverage. It was kind of real credible coverage that was actually usable. So $112 million saved for small businesses, workers, and families in there. That was achieved through because of our lower premiums that we have, and then also our cost sharing. It's, as you can see on the table, first dollar coverage for $82 a month. No $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 deductible. And over the years, we've really stayed true to also the fact that this can't be done in a vacuum and it can't be done alone. It really has been a community effort to be able to achieve the success, in a sense, that we've been able to kind of help foster. I mean, if without the community and without our connections and without that cohesiveness, it wouldn't have happened. And so that kind of brings us into this. And again, going back to the origins, it really was when we started out around how do we provide healthcare and the healthcare services. And with that, it was too focused. It was on access to healthcare services and affordability. But as we went through that process, we really started to see that, if we don't have a strong partnership with the individual, it's not going to work. So that's where we kind of recentered it and said, really, this is about the individual, and it's really about how do we build what we call health integrity. So how do we make that person a strong person so that they actually can again, deal with the things that come up on a daily basis and manage it and have like I said, the affordability and the access to healthcare coverage when certain circumstances, certain circumstances come up, that they can do that. It didn't take us long, and I remember my talk with Rem at the beginning of this many, many years ago, and just, again, started to make the argument and the point that if we just do what all the other HMOs and MCOs are doing, we won't make it. I mean, and that we have to really look at saying, how do we get upstream? And there was a kind of a bantering back and forth as we talked to whatever, which was, we're only going to have them for a short period of time, and, we just need to do what we can do for them. And then I was kind of presenting the other side of it, which says, but Rem, when they leave, and if they leave our program, they're going to stay in the community. So let's look at and say, how do we actually impact those individuals, why we have them, and set a foundation for them that will hopefully foster and flourish later. So like I said, we understand that we really needed to start looking at how do we treat the whole person. So again, my background, behavior change, really looking at saying the mental and emotional health of an individual. And then we all know that, again, family social health has a significant impact on your stability that you have and your overall health. And what I'm going through here is just what I call our different domains of health. And you can actually, as I look at this, really see how, in a sense, the rest of somewhat the world, or has kind of caught up to our foundation of what we've been able to do. Because, like I said, for so many years they were focused just on the physical health part of stuff. So environmental health, we know that access to food, where they live, type of stuff, has a significant impact and is interplay with how healthy a person is. Spiritual health, that's just that sense of well-being, the ability to kind of put things in perspective, and whatever that is for individuals in their own kind of well-being is an important part. Intellectual health, and this one I think we equate that, and we say intellectual, people equate it to intelligence. It's not. It really is, I mean, it's a part of it, don't get me wrong now, but it really is that part of how do we exercise our brain? We exercise our physical muscles and walking and trying to do all that type of stuff. That doesn't stop when we end at high school or college or whatever. That again, people that are healthier, they have an overall mental challenging things that they do that keep them sharp. Financial health, that one kind of speaks for itself. Again, more so now is that we actually see with a lot of data, and we went over the Livability Lab, is that how stable a person's financial income is, and as they move up, the healthier they can be. And so, again, that's important. And the last one that we call our domains is occupational health. Again, making sure that people have the skill sets and the things necessary to be able to survive and contribute within the community. Given this, this is very complicated, and there's interplay with it and that, and we can't expect a person, especially with a population that we're kind of focused on, that lower income population, to think about or understand how to navigate this. So we started to provide a health coach, and that health coach is really there in a sense to provide guidance, accountability, again, because we need to be held accountable for the choices and different things that we're doing, and then support for, again, healthy decision making. So that really set the foundation for the program and the operations of it. That, again, evolved over time, and it became more formalized and as a part of our overall kind of day-to-day operations. Excuse me. The other part of this is that we realized that the complexity of this is not a one organization fix. It's a community fix. We need everybody at the table. And so kind of what we did, hey, Don, I got to point out one thing here. I like it, but you only put 10 people on defense. And I like the odds of stacking the deck on it, but we need another X. But if our goal is that personal health integrity, we have all these psychosocial factors that are influencing and that derail that process on a daily basis and sometimes hourly basis, But until we actually bring the community together and the services together in more of a united, cohesive, collaborative type of way and provide that safety net support system under them, we won't be successful. So we learned that often. I mean, right off the bat, it was kind of, again, part of our, what I call our population health. We've demonstrated this, like I said, the efficacy of this on a small basis, whatever, like I said, with our population, but we've done it over 26 years. So, and we've had consistent results and consistent outputs over those years. And as I say to the people in the insurance industry, we can't have been this lucky. You know, we're doing something or whatever here that actually works. So here, this is what happens, in a sense. To me, this speaks volumes. This is looking at a traditional kind of healthcare coverage, the medical spend. So we're looking at not fluctuations of what we offer our PMPM at, but actual medical spend of the program. And that's the trajectory that the traditional market for the Midwest has taken over the last 25 years. The bottom line is Access Health. So, I mean, those are my auditors here, so she can attest to that. I mean, these are our numbers in our medical spend that comes in on an annual basis. So again, to be able to hold that says we're doing something here that correlates to this. Other consistencies, the plan has pretty much stayed the same. Still first dollar coverage, $10 to go see your primary care doc, $20 for specialists. So it's not that we've, again, on that top line, I'll guarantee that line includes, well, we went from a $500 deductible to a $1,000 to a $2,000 deductible. So that doesn't even account for the cost shift. That's just medical spend from the plan. So that leads us to this. And what this is that this is our kind of inflationary cost as it relates to healthcare and healthcare services. The issue with this is that if you look at it, each year, healthcare and healthcare costs increasingly have a disproportionate share of taking or capturing what I call community resources. This is not sustainable. I mean, at a certain point, it's not going to make it. There's going to have to be something. There's going to be a breaking point. Like I said, is that we can't spend 90% of our income on healthcare. I mean, and feel that we can still operate as a functioning kind of community in that space. So the amount of discretionary income that individuals have continues to decrease because it's not their wage increases are not keeping up with the increases here. Again, traditionally we've looked at the healthcare providers and the MCOs to be the ones that get us healthy, and I'm here to say it's not working. It really does actually fall on us as a community and as individuals and looking at the choices and different things that we make that is really going to make that difference. And again, like I said, they haven't, as we can see here, been able to really look at any reductions in cost. I was talking to Gary Allure the other day and said, hey, can we expect, like next year our healthcare premiums or the costs are going to go down? And he's like, no. So there's nothing in the future that we have. So now we come back to and say, well, now what do we do? And I think a lot of this, like I said, there's a lot of correlations of when individuals come in for the individual health coaching and buy into or at least get exposed to our model. There's a lot of helpless, hopeless. I mean, how to manage the healthcare delivery. How to manage all the different kind of variables that are going on in an individual's life. And so I think when you look at this, if you show this chart to a business owner or anybody that they dread every single year that their insurance agent is going to come by and it's like, okay, how much is it going to be this year? I mean, it was like 17% this year. Again, vastly outpacing or whatever the inflationary costs that we have in other areas. So we have kind of a conundrum. I mean, we can kind of sit back as a community and basically say, okay, we can't do anything. We're powerless over this, and just kind of ride it out. And it'll crash sometime. Don't know what's going to happen then, but it will. Or we can be audacious in a sense and go, no, let's take a look at this in a sense from a community perspective. Look at the things that we actually can influence. And the one thing that we can influence as a community, and this is not a flip the switch overnight, but is looking at the demand side of things. And there's a lot of things that play into that. One is we have continued evolving kind of medical services that are driving up a lot of making it more expensive. But on the other side, we have a society, a community, or whatever, that is, let me do all these bad things, in a sense, and make bad choices as it relates to my health. And then I go into the provider and I go, fix me. Give me a medication, give me a surgery that allows me to continue to do what I've been doing for that got me in this position in the first place. So I think we're at a kind of a calling point as a community to say, what do we want to do about this? You know, what can we do about this? And so I'm not talking, like I said, about flipping a switch overnight and that saying that we'll be able to start to head in a different direction. But at least we have some did I hit it twice? Okay. This one didn't make it to get the change. But anyways, bottom line is, so people say, well, have we tried this before? We have. You know, I've been pushing at this. I mean, our first kind of throwing our hat into the ring would be Sam, and not the Sam here that came over. It was, I don't know if people go back or whatever, if they remember Stay Active Muskegon. And that was one of the things that looked at. We had pedometers, and we really tried to get people to, again, focus on the physical side of things. The next one was, we did Healthy on the Shore, and that was really a kind of a cooperative effort with the Employers Association, but really focus on our partnerships that we have with the employers, and can we look at driving down medical costs and claims and fix physical things there. 1 in 21, people know that one too. That was a very audacious one, but again, just physically focused. And we wanted to reduce obesity, and we wanted to, I think it was smoking was the other one that we had. So again, still things that are what I call symptoms of a lot of things that are put together as it relates to our Access Health model, all those other stressors that go on. And then the Shire, again, that program, not that it's totally over right now, it's kind of in limbo. We kind of put it in escrow for a little bit here to really figure out the direction. But again, when that came down, it came down as a state directive, and the state directive was specifically focused on healthcare or whatever, and reducing emergency room visits and a lot of things there, but it was dictated. It wasn't this community coming together and saying, what can we do as a community, and what are our goals and objectives? I mean, what are the things that we can do and we can actually, as all these organizations, strive to? So one thing is I think we need to look at, if we take what we've learned from the Access Health, we have to look at the different areas or components, what I call sectors or whatever, that we need to bring together. And then how do we actually align those and unite those in a way that actually achieves a greater impact than we do right now, which is operating in a lot of our silos. Ooh, okay. Here it is. So if our goal here is community health integrity, going from individuals to the community, then this to me is like kind of like a football team. And a football team that has a lot of superstars on it and a lot of good people, but they aren't united in what their goals and objectives are. If they're individual, if they're only covering their own thing, overall they aren't going to be that successful as a team. My thing is that we need to come together as a community here, and really at least my challenge would be is that have a discussion. I mean, is there some people in the audience here that really kind of, at least, like I said, is starting to assimilate to of some of the things that I'm talking about here, and willing to at least have 2 to 3 conversations that says, let me see where I'm at. Kind of bringing the partners together, and like I said, the focus on this is going to be, how do we look at establishing maybe some specific goals and objectives as a community of where we want to go. So I mean, in that, and then really start to create a strategy that will have transformational ability, in a sense, or lay the foundation for not next year or next 2 years, but really kind of over our lifetime. So if you would be interested in that, kind of the thought process I have is that please call Teresa, I'll add your name to a list, in a sense, on that. And then I'll come back, and if there's enough interest or whatever, and I'll keep you updated on it. But, then I'll talk with our kind of core community partners and say, some of them are here, so I'll be knocking on your door. But here, given this, how do we actually start to accomplish this? How do we at least start to get some dialogue and some conversation going about it? And then we'll see where that goes. So, thank you.
You did a fine job. All right, we do have a few minutes for questions. And Andrew's got the mic.
Having worked with you, Jeff, for many years ago, and having the collaboration with the Muskegon Health Project at that time, and writing grants. My question is, now that the Muskegon Health Project is a part of Trinity, how has that impacted or has that supported your activity?
To be honest on that, I mean, like I said, I meet with Gary pretty regularly, but a lot of the individuals that were my go-to kind of frontline people, they're gone. I mean, and so there's the ability, in a sense, to really engage them around this, topics like this has significantly decreased. I mean, I think from Gary, I have the commitment. Again, from the health project, they definitely are committed, but they also are kind of tied into, or having to make sure that they meet the corporate focus of what's going on, and so it has kind of made a little bit more of a wedge between what they see and they know they need to do and what they need to do to be able to keep corporate happy.
So are you still having grants?
Are we still having what?
Are you still going for grants?
We are, and that thing, like I said, I didn't touch on a whole other stuff because I only had 20 minutes, but we talked about the livability lab. There's a lot of other things that we're doing at that community level, part of the hub work that's being done in the Heights and that, so, but it all kind of deploys and stays pretty central to our domains of health and how do we support that.
Other questions? You must have done a fine job. Wow. You did do a fine job. All right, thank you, Jeff. I can attest that I know they're going for grants because I've had a lot of conversations with them about it. So thank you again for that presentation. The speaker's honorarium this year, as a reminder, will be the Muskegon Rotary Club donation for supplies and materials used by our club members and youth from our Interact clubs as they take their service trips to El Salvador and Honduras. And next up, Mike, I think we have a couple of slides. The new members. You put a slide up and I'll wing it. Okay. So congratulations to our new members, second quarter, September to December of 2025. We have Jeffrey Dana, Brock Johnson, Dion Stumpo, Marianne, I'm sorry if I should have practiced these, Bachheim Verhill, Bernard Brown, and Trevor Friedeberg. So welcome to those new members. We've seen them many times. And congratulations to our Red Star graduates. Again, the second quarter, October 1st to December 31st, graduating were Patricia Schaefer, Amy White, Dwana Thompson, Jen Wakely, and Mihan Quinn. Good job, everybody. And thanks to everybody who helped involve them in our activities. Now it's time for our birthday slide. We have two birthdays. One has passed, but remember we didn't have an actual meeting last week. We had a great social event. Heather Brolick on January 30th. And Laura Lorenz was yesterday, February 4th. So we have, I don't know if either of those people are here, but are our birthday ladies over there? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. I'm realizing as I note that those are both passed, that there's always the possibility that because we didn't have that meeting, we somehow have missed the coming ones. So if so, we'll make them up next week. But important reminder that we ask you to make your $10 birthday gift for the Caring Connection. You've got envelopes here. There's a QR code on the birthday flyers. It's always in the rim. Thanks to everybody there. And next up, we have a Rotary in Action this week, which is a special one to me and to Christine when we see who this young person is. We knew her mother, and we've known this young lady since she was a wee child. Jacinda Patrick.
My name is Jacinda Patrick. I go to North Muskegon High School. I'm 18 years old, and I have been involved in Interact and Rotary for about, I would say, 8 years now. I have been president of Interact for 2 years, and I mean, you could say, like, that was an accomplishment, but honestly, like, really being a part of Interact, I feel like, is being able to see communities come together. When I volunteer at the food banks, I see people come together just to do good, and I've met so many people and created so many new friendships that are lifelong friendships. My message to everyone and anybody is to just take action. Like, you might not think it's a big impact, but it really is, because like Rotary, it started with one person, one guy. He had a vision, he had an idea, and that idea in 1905 started Rotary, and now it's present in 170 countries. When I joined Interact, I wanted to kind of shift our club, which is predominantly fundraising, to more service-driven, like the Rotary's motto, service above self, like really hone in on that like motto and show them like hands-on work. We used to be like sending money internationally to this student named Maiden, but we never saw him, we never could, you know what I mean? We'd send money to these organizations, but I feel like to be able to work and like actually see that for yourself is really, really rewarding, and I wanted them to be able to experience that, so I encouraged other people to volunteer at those sorts of organizations, and I could see the spark in their eyes, and I was like, oh, yes.
It's hard to believe little JC is in high school, since I've known her since she was about 3, Christine, when her mother came to work for us at United Way. All right, next up, this is the first time I've got to do this. This is exciting. We have some inductions today, 3 to be exact. So will Danielle Smith-Walker with sponsor Marty Seitzma, Denise Sabo, and DJ Hilson, and Jill Ryan and Sarah Rinsby-Siebinga please come up to do your introductions and then inductions. You can do it right here from the podium. Whoever wants to go first. Don't be shy. None of you are shy.
All right, so I get to be part of the induction of Jill Ryan today. Jill Ryan received her bachelor's degree in biology from Grand Valley State University, her master's degree in zoology from the University of Maine, and her law degree from Case Western Reserve University in Ohio. Just a little bit of education. She has a background in nonprofit management and capacity building, environmental toxicology. Did I say that right? Toxicology. Right. Toxicology and human services, and has taught environmental law and legal research. Jill has held positions with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and is now the executive director of Freshwater Future, a position she's held since 2000. In addition to building Freshwater Future, Jill's passion focuses on increasing grassroots capacity to protect waters in the Great Lake region, including assisting with a variety of planning processes, board development, facilitation, and binational collaborative efforts. She served on the Healing Our Waters Governance Board and helped spur the creation of the growing Great Lakes Network and monitors emerging issues in the region. So Jill lives in Muskegon, Michigan, and enjoys paddling and camping with her friends and her family and her dogs. She's relatively, how long have you lived in Muskegon?
Well, I grew up here, but now it's just a year and a half.
Year and a half. Grew up here, but has been here in a year and a half, and literally has just dove in feet first. So this is really exciting that she's now going to be part of Rotary.
Good afternoon, Rotary. Danielle Smith-Walker is a dedicated educational leader, counselor, and community advocate with more than 30 years of experience supporting student success. She serves as Director of Guidance and Counseling at Mona Shores Public Schools, where she leads school counseling services and initiatives that ensure students are college, career, and life ready. Danielle also works as an adjunct counselor and advisor at Muskegon Community College and has served as a substance abuse counselor since 2008. Danielle holds a Master's of Arts in Counseling Psychology from University of Detroit Mercy, a Master of Arts in Curriculum Design and Instruction from Western Michigan University, and a Bachelor of Science in Applied Biology from Ferris State, where she also played on the basketball team. Little thing to throw in there. You might see a trend coming up with that. She's a licensed professional counselor, national certified counselor, and certified educator with additional credentials in crisis prevention and addictions counseling. Danielle serves on multiple school leadership and student support teams, including social emotional learning, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and at-risk intervention groups. She's active in community and professional organizations, including Christ Temple Church, the Michigan School Counselors Association, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and local scholarship and youth-focused initiatives. Danielle is married to Jarvis, who works for a small local company, and together they run a food truck called JD's Rib Shack. Yum. Danielle and Jarvis are the proud parents of 3 adult children: Jasmine, who's currently a women's basketball coach at University of Iowa; Jordan, who was Muskegon's first Miss Basketball, who went on to play point guard for the legendary Tennessee Lady Vols. She's currently a basketball coach at Central Michigan University, and son Jarvis, who's a graduate of University of Indianapolis and Indiana University of Indianapolis. He's actually playing a game in Kosovo right now. Do we know the score?
They won.
All right.
I just got that intel.
All right. Well, tell them that all of us said congratulations. If you could say that in whatever they speak in that language, that'd be sweet. Danielle is especially proud that her children have earned a combined 7 college degrees, including 2 MBAs, while competing as collegiate student athletes at the highest levels. Driven by the belief that strong communities are built through education, mentorship, and service, Danielle is passionate about mentoring, equity, and creating opportunities for young people while collaborating with community partners to make a lasting impact. Now, I've heard all of you celebrate these local students that I bring every single week. Now, please join me in welcoming to our club one of the amazing adults who supports them and enables them to thrive.
Seriously. It's tough being vertically challenged. Nealon, you know what that's all about, right? I have the privilege of introducing to this club Denise Sabo. Denise currently serves as the IT manager of end user services with enterprise integration. She's also a lifelong Muskegon resident and dedicated community leader. She's deeply committed to community service and actively participates in causes that strengthen Muskegon, including support for Kids Food Basket, Save Our Light, and Every Woman's Place. Denise also serves in civic leadership roles as secretary of the Northside Lions Club and treasurer of the Greater Muskegon Optimist Club, contributing to service projects, youth initiatives, and community outreach. Family is at the heart of Denise's life. She's married to Terry Sable, and together they share 4 children, 10 grandchildren, and are happily awaiting grandchild number 11. Their strong family roots and love for Muskegon continue to inspire her passion for service. Denise is excited to join the Muskegon Rotary Club, build meaningful relationships, and continue contributing to Muskegon and Rotary's mission of service above self. Please welcome Denise Sable.
All right, fellow Rotarians and guests, it is a great privilege for me to formally welcome 3 new members into the Muskegon Rotary Club. Thanks, Dave and Roger, for being gone so I could do this. Membership in Rotary is not merely joining a club, but becoming a part of a global family dedicated to making a positive impact locally and internationally. Rotary International is a family of more than 1.2 million Rotarians in more than 45,000 clubs in over 200 countries worldwide. Danielle, Denise, and Jill, we welcome you to the Rotary Club of Muskegon. You are invited to membership because you embody the spirit of service and the high ethical standards Rotary upholds. Your introductions made that very clear. Your sponsors recognize your potential and introduced you to this organization, which is committed to fostering the ideal of service above self. As a member now, you represent Rotary in the community. Membership involves duties and obligations, including regular attendance and contributions to service and fundraising activities. We would like you to join a committee and become involved in the work of this club. We have lots of committees to do that, and of Rotary International. We promote peace, fight disease, provide clean water, support education, embrace mothers and children, grow local economies, and protect the environment. Locally, we have a long tradition of developing youth leadership, among other avenues of community service. We hope that you'll join us in that work and the joy of fellowship. Do you agree to the obligations of Rotary membership? Yes. They all said yes. So I formally induct you, to Danielle, Denise, and Jill, into the Muskegon Rotary Club. I will give you each a Rotary pin, which we hope you will wear with pride, and the Rotary four-way test. Thank you, Kim. No, I'll give them. Okay, so I ask you to consider taking the gift of Rotary and sharing it with others as your sponsors did with you, specifically to try to invite someone with your commitment to community and ethical standards to join the Muskegon Rotary Club in the next 6 months. Will you accept this challenge? Okay. You don't get kicked out if you don't do it in 6 months. Just saying, it took me a couple of years. At the end of the meeting, we hope that you'll have time to stay in the lobby with your sponsors so that people can officially welcome you. With that, though, I ask members and guests of the Muskegon Rotary Club to rise and welcome the 3 newest Rotarians of the world, Danielle Smith Walker, Denise Sabo, and Jill Ryan. Thank you. All right, now we also have, my first time doing this too, I would want to invite Meredith Smiley up to present a Paul Harris Fellow Award today. No, I get to do so many cool things today.
I guess I'm somewhere in between Marty and DJ in the height department. In 1957, Rotary International established the Paul Harris Fellow Award to honor Paul Harris, one of the 3 founders of Rotary. Rotary created this eponymous award to express appreciation of the financial support of the humanitarian and educational programs of the Rotary Foundation. This award is one of Rotary's most prestigious honors. Paul Harris once said, "Dreaming is not so bad if one dreams good dreams and makes them come true." Rotarians make dreams a reality through Rotary Foundation programs that provide educational opportunities, food, potable water, sanitation, health care, immunizations, and shelter for millions of persons around the globe. Today, we will honor a deserving individual who also dreams good dreams and makes them come true. To help with this presentation, I would like to invite Doug Wood to come forward and tell us about our honoree who will join the worldwide ranks of Paul Harris Fellows today.
Thank you, Meredith. Some of you may remember that I was, I guess I was the last one on the big wheel of misfortune for 9 people, but fortune for me. And I was, this is the second time I was the last one voted off the island, and the first time I didn't know what to do with that. It was a long time ago, but I learned in watching so many of you hand out these Paul Harris that the best thing you can do is to recognize someone in the community that is doing great things. And so I'm noticing there's a little lull here. Maybe it's a pasta coma that's kicking in here. So I'm going to give you a chance to shout out some of those schools for you that you missed in all those introductions. So our Paul Harris recipient today received a degree from Mona Shores High School. There we go, thank you. Grand Valley State University. All right, and Michigan State University. All right. Our recipient has been married over 20 years and has 3 children. Is an avid outdoor enthusiast who enjoys hiking and snorkeling. has specialized in leading our community in finding innovative ways to improve the health and livability of Muskegon. That last word, livability, might be the biggest clue to who I've chosen here today, because I've had the pleasure of working with Samantha Cornell in our livability lab for the last 6 years. And Sam has been taking it from an experiment to something that's really becoming a part of the fabric of our community. And I've just been so proud to be a part of that. So Sam, if you would come up, I'm going to just embarrass you a little bit with a short introduction. I sent the full bio to the RIM folks, so I'll ask you to take a look at it, because I know we're running short on time. But Samantha Cornell currently serves as the Chief Operating Officer with Access Health, where she has spent 13 years dedicated to impacting structural and socially determined barriers to optimal health. Sam earned her Juris Doctor in 2012 from the Michigan State University's College of Law. Go great. Thank you, Lisa. And majored in political science, where she received her Bachelor's of Science degree from Grand Valley and graduated from Mona Shores. I am not going to go through all the professional stuff, but I will trust you to read that. But beyond her professional achievement, Sam is deeply committed to her community and to mentoring others. I've seen that so often during the livability lab process, where I've been able to be a coach, a participant, and also an advisor to the creation of the lab. But she's also an avid outdoor person and explores places like the Dry Tortuga National Park and snorkeling on the Belize Barrier Reef. At home, she and her husband have been married over 20 years, where he is a public education teacher, and they have 3 children. I just would like you to congratulate and bring into the Paul Harris Fellowship Samantha Cornell.
They're going to be for Samantha, and I have a couple more remarks to make on your behalf. Today, my fellow Rotarians, we move closer to the peaceful world as Samantha Cornell becomes a Paul Harris Fellow. Samantha, you are being recognized today as a Paul Harris Fellow, and a special appreciation for how your life exemplifies the humanitarian and educational objectives of the Rotary Foundation. Oh my gosh, get in there. You were designated to receive this recognition by Rotarian Doug Wood. On behalf of the Rotary Foundation Board of Trustees, you received the 3 emblems of a Paul Harris Fellow: a lapel pin, a medallion, and a certificate that states you have been named a Paul Harris Fellow, in appreciation of tangible and significant assistance given for the furtherance of better understanding and friendly relations between peoples of the world. We encourage you to wear your pin to demonstrate your support of the Rotary Foundation programs that save and invigorate people's lives worldwide. She would make a great Rotarian too, don't you think? Please accept our sincere congratulations and appreciation for your commitment to our shared world understanding and peace goals. Rotarians and friends, one more time, because we have a pasta, lull here. Please stand and recognize our newest Paul Harris Fellow in the world, Samantha Cornell. Say something if you'd like. If not,
So, more than anything, thank you. This was a surprise, so thank you. I'm incredibly honored. I'll be brief, but my family moved here in, I think, 1987, right? And this community stood up for my family in so many ways, and just incredibly grateful. The work that we do at Access Health, the work that we do beyond Access Health, the way that I've engaged in Muskegon has been alongside so many folks in this room that have been such incredible mentors and advocates, and I'm just incredibly honored and grateful, so thank you.
All right, now we are to the announcements part of the program. If you have announcements to make that are either Rotary information or Rotary events, please come forward. You have 2 minutes or less, preferably less.
All right, I know Lisa Tyler is ready for March Madness. We'll see if her Sparties make it into the bracket. There are spreadsheets going around. If you would like to sign up for the Brave Rotarians contest, my son got admitted to the University of Michigan this weekend. So I'm, yes, very excited. And now I've lost my train of thought. So, for $100, you can be a part of the March Madness. I'm looking for 64 volunteers. I know we can get there. We can do a men's bracket and a women's bracket, and you could win a Paul Harris Fellow. So there are sign-up sheets going around. I think there's one stuck in front of Parker. There was one on the other side of the room, and there is also a sign-up in the rim. So let's go blue.
Hi, everybody. John Noling here. I'm here on behalf of the Interact Committee. We need pop cans tomorrow for Reese Puffer's Interact Club that's trying to bring a major speaker to their school, and they need a lot of money. And so we're going to start with pop cans, and I'm already picking up cans from a couple folks tomorrow. If you have any you can donate to them, let me know before you leave. We're also going to collect them next Friday after Rotary next week if you're willing to bring them. All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Mine's really quick too. Dom from Youth Exchange Committee, and last time we all got to meet in this room, we had fun with the country reveal, and that's really exciting. However, I have a request. If you are one of our participants and you happen to take the little flag home as a memento, I would really love those back. They're a little expensive, so thanks.
Always mindful of the budgets. All right, and the one I will make too is on your table is a reminder of a joint service project and a social gathering on Saturday, February 21st with our Rotary Club and our friends in Kent County. So there's a QR code where you can sign up for that. Please consider that. Saturday, February 21st, starts at 9 a.m. We are at Feeding America, West Michigan, and you're done by around 1:30. Okay, it is time now for the... Oh, yes, I'm sorry. My other announcement, if I read. Next week, Rotary will be at the Lake House. Not here, the Lake House. That is Thursday, February 12th, at the Lake House. It'll be in the rim. It'll be the reminder and the sign-ups. Kim does a great job with that. Again, as David said, don't show up here. We won't be here. We'll be down at the lake. All right, now it is time for the raffle. Cynthia Maynard has our lucky tickets. Get them out. What are we doing first, Cynthia? $5. $5. 7698 are the last three numbers. 5, Jason. This isn't a bidding kind of thing, it's 5. All right, are we doing $10 next, Cynthia? $10. 7677. All right. All right, last chance, $20. $7602. It's Jeff Fortenbacher. All right, so next week's program, which is going to be where again? Okay, you all listen, good job. At the Lake House will be Kids Belong. And so I'm going to ring the bell here in a minute, but after the bell, we will again play Jackson Brown's The Loadout Stay, as many of us mingle, create the magic of Rotary, and also honor our production team of Mike, Kim, Jay, Dennis, and the staff here at the Delta who make our weekly gatherings so meaningful. So members and guests, if you can please rise, we will recite the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Let's unite for good. We are adjourned.